Alright, funny story just to mention. I just got home from visiting the neighbor's house. I had a pretty nice conversation. Actually, pretty nice dinner with the neighbors. Just explaining them a couple stuff that have to do with my vacation, but also me, I guess, embarrassing my dad or something. But still, we were just laughing so hard we were playing the quiet game. But I just found out what this was from friends. I thought it had to do with the inappropriate. Basically, I figured it had to do with the nasty inappropriate. That would have to do with this and the other, and just this. Oh god, I probably should have done that, but I didn't intentionally combine them two, because then you would know what it is, but you should know what that is. Still, it clearly means, F you. I feared it was wish me luck, or just something, I basically thought it was something funny, and, I would say I'm a bit disappointed, but honestly, I'm glad that this means F you, because now I can pull this on Dad, and not the actual middle finger. But that's probably not going to be a good idea either way, because he knows what it is, because he just, naturally no, Patricia told me what it was. So I'm gonna pull it up on Ryan since I could just pull it on him since we're teenagers and not around adults, but this could be a lot of fun. Anyways, off topic decision I just mentioned, but anyway, so yeah, finally, I'm now talking about Jurassic World Dominion as I saw that yesterday, and I'm gonna upload this. Oh my god! I'm going to upload this as soon as possible as I'm done. So enough screwing around, because it's now time to talk about Jurassic World Dominion because. With how Fallen Kingdom ended, yeah, that was a major cliffhanger for me. I knew I was going to have to wait until, I guess, 2021, since, I figured Endgame would be coming out that year, but since it's Part 1 and Part 2, I would have to wait 1 year for that to come out. But for Jurassic World 3, I basically would have to wait until 2021, only to know by 2020 that it was going to be delayed a year away. Because it was supposed to come out originally today, June 11th, 2021, which would have been, I guess, the anniversary for Jurassic Park. Because I'm surprised to find out that Jurassic Park came out today, back in 1993. But still, it would have made sense because it is described as the epic conclusion, which I highly doubt it. They're going to be, I don't want to say milking on the Jurassic Park franchise, because that would sound like in a bad way, like how Sony's doing that with Spider-Man movies. Morbius, Morbin time and everything. Yes, I've said that, but not the way I should have said it, but I shall talk about Morbius when the time comes. But still, though, just I don't want to say it in a bad way. Just basically, I don't know how to explain it, but so yeah, pretty much I waited 4 years just to see this, and was it worth the wait? Yeah, it was definitely worth the wait. I have been hearing what people have been saying, and I was a bit nervous to end up agreeing with them. Basically, not liking the movie, just what they've been saying, and I'm just, oh god, this is what it is on Rotten Tomatoes as of today, but if you've seen my movie vlog, you already know what was my reaction to the movie, and that is, I enjoyed Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, I hate to say it, it isn't probably one of the best movies, even though I don't understand what is it. There's a few parts I understood, especially with the whole bug thing that 3C Films mentioned in this spoiler-free review, but still, I could see what people are talking about. I could agree with what they're saying, just some parts, basically similar with Multiverse of Madness. I could agree with what they're saying about Dominion, but I think this movie may be my jam. Agree to disagree, I think Jurassic World Dominion was freaking awesome. Now, it isn't how I wanted it to be, but I still enjoyed it with how it came out. Yeah, I do think it could have been better, because I have written out on some stuff that I was satisfied with and disappointed with, because most people will say this was disappointing. I wouldn't say this is awful trash or anything. That's what other people are saying, but I see most of them saying this a disappointment. But for me, I enjoyed it. I was entertained, and that's all that matters. But the best part, actually two best part about all this, as I've mentioned yesterday, which actually I'm going to save my thoughts on that later in this review. I watched 3 Jurassic World movies in one day, and I'm going to explain how that all happened, which isn't like a big deal, but it is to me because I feel good about myself, and I shall for the rest of my life till I die. And the second thing is I got to see this in IMAX and as I said in my as I said in my movie vlog, I was expecting possibly a theater reaction, but no, I wanted to see it in IMAX just for the movie of it, not because how I wanted to see Multiverse of Madness in IMAX because of what IMAX brought to me as I saw No Way Home in IMAX back in December. And sadly, there was not a theater reaction, and even though I'm a bit upset, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna get over it. It was still fun watching it in IMAX though, but what was kind of there was one issue I had with IMAX, and it was freaking loud. Okay, I don't remember No Way Home being that loud as I saw it in IMAX, but I don't know. Not that it's a nitpick, but like just I couldn't take how loud it was. But that doesn't change my mind on me going to see movies in IMAX, because basically I've underestimated IMAX is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it was totally worth it seeing it in IMAX. But now to my positive. So one of the best things about Jurassic World Dominion, I think I have like 2 or 3 best things about this movie, and one of them would be the main trio in Jurassic World Dominion. So since it's pretty much a quote-unquote epic conclusion to the Jurassic era, but pretty much the Jurassic Park saga, I would say, they bring back the original trio from the first movie, and we have not seen them together ever since Jurassic Park. We've only seen Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park 3, but Ian Malcolm, mainly in Fallen Kingdom. So yeah, I'll say that. And I did say in my last review I was a bit disappointed. Actually, no, I was a lot disappointed with how he was used in the movie, but he's a lot more better in this one. I enjoyed Ian Malcolm a lot more in this one. He was honestly so much better than how they used him in the last movie. The best part about it is that the main trio is in this movie, and no, they're not just cameos or anything how Toby and Andrew were in the movie. And it is completely different with how Toby and Andrew were in Spider-Man No Way Home than with the main trio being in Jurassic World Dominion, because they are main characters, of course, for the Jurassic Park trilogy, I guess, but the best thing I'm trying to say is that they are main characters for this one, as the next best thing that I enjoyed about this movie was that there are basically 2 movies mixed into this one. Basically, there are 2 movies added into one, and that would be Jurassic World Dominion. Some people are having issues with that. I mean, I don't know if I have an issue with it, but I thought I kind of enjoyed with how it was having, because like it did felt like that there were 2 movies added up into one, and that would be this one, which would explain why it's like 2 hours and 27 minutes, which is damn, because the first one was like 2 hours and 4 minutes, and then the second 2 hours and 8 minutes. But this one is a lot longer, and is probably the longest. Actually, how long is Jurassic Park? Yeah, how long is Jurassic Park? Damn! 2 hours and 7 minutes! Jurassic World Dominion is basically the longest movie in the franchise, and I'm just now finding out about this, and I figured it was, but it just wasn't too sure. But still, though, that's the second thing I liked about this movie, is that it's 2 movies being played, which would be, because like there's two stories going on. One would be Owen Grady and Claire Dearing trying to get well, not their daughter, but they're pretty much basically their daughter, because they've been taking care of her for about, I guess, 4 years or 3 years in the Jurassic World timeline. Still, they're trying to get their daughter back, but also Baby Blue, which is named Beta, something I'm going to talk about later. And the other story is Alan Grant, basically the original trio, working on something that has to do with the bugs things, which I'm going to talk about in my nitpicks, because that may be a little nitpick I got. I'll explain how it's in my nitpicks, but still, I liked how it's 2 movies being played into one thing. It's basically, like, for example, with the Eternals, they try and make, like, basically, if the Eternals was a book, they would have to have this movie in 2 parts, but they had it all into one, and people had an issue with that. I mean, I could agree with them. I would have to watch Eternals again, but for this one, I liked how it was 2 movies into one, and the last thing that worked for me was the new dinosaurs in the movie. As I took my time thinking about it, and it surprises me to say this, all the new dinosaurs in this movie, especially the big bad dino, are scary as hell. I was gonna be shocked if I came out of this movie with no jump scares, but glad I got 1 jump scare out of this movie, and that's... Now, this shouldn't be a big spoiler, but there's a scene in Alan Grant where there's a hole, and he looks up, trying to see if there's a way out, and I'm like, there's something in there, I'm calling it. And boom! A jump scare! Not only Alan Grant gets scared, but I'm like, wow! Oh my god! Just... Oh man, glad I had a jump scare out of this movie, and I probably had a jump scare of 1 or 2. I don't know. That was the only jump scare I remember from watching Dominion in the theater in IMAX. Now, I've heard some people say that they were getting off Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible vibes from this movie, mainly on some specific scenes. Now, I hate to say this, I did got a little bit of vibes from Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore somehow, which is very weird. There's some similarities there. But, I will agree with some of them, because there is some similarities there. Now, the Fast and Furious, I don't know about that, but for Mission Impossible, yeah, because there's some scenes that feels like, okay, this feels like a spy mission, basically like a spy movie. So, basically, it's a spy thriller, but what I liked about it was that it was a thrill ride from start to finish. Not a spy thrill ride, just a thrill ride. There's a little difference between spy thriller and a thrill ride. Now, sadly, I want to say there are like technically 4 new characters, but there's only mainly 1 because the other 3 are just because like they're really not that new because they've been in the franchise since the beginning. That would be the original trio from Jurassic Park, but the new character would be Kaylee Watts. I gotta say, I honestly liked her character in this movie. Now, sadly, she's pretty much the only new character. I mean, there's some new... Actually, no, she's not the only new character, because there's 2 characters I did enjoy in this movie. Kayla Watts, but also Razmi Cole, if I pronounce his first name right. But still, two new characters I enjoyed in this movie. Now, for Razmi, he's basically someone on the inside with Ian Malcolm on this company called Bioset, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, and I probably could care less about it. So I forgot what the company was called, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think everyone's going to enjoy the new characters, well, mainly the 2 new characters in this movie. I mean, yeah, like I said, there are some new characters in this movie, but the main 2 for this one, I think they're going to enjoy, and that is Kaylee Watts, but also Razmi Cole. Except there's one new character that they are definitely not going to enjoy, and that would be the human villain for this movie. Now, I've not finished talking about my positives for this movie, but I'll get into my nitpicks a little bit, and that is the villain. So, as in my last review, I said that as I rewatched Fallen Kingdom recently, I surprisingly ended up hating on Mr. Mills, because I was surprised to just hate on that human, because Mr. Mills was just a terrible human villain from Fallen Kingdom, but for the villain for this movie, oh my god! He is worse than the last 2, and honestly, I would prefer the human villain from Jurassic World than this guy. And worst part, like, I could not get this out of my head, but he kept reminding me of him as Peter's dad from the TASM universe. It's played by the actor who plays Peter's dad in the TASM movies. But yeah, the human villain is just honestly one of the worst human villains I had seen in the franchise. And he's a lot worse than the one we got from Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World. So yeah, we could all agree no one is not gonna like him, and that we're pretty much just gonna want him to be eaten by a dinosaur, which he does get eaten by a dinosaur, but I'm not gonna say which one it is, and that is something I'll talk about in my spoiler review. So, I know I just said that the bad guy gets eaten by the human dinosaur, but that shouldn't be a big spoiler, because honestly, that's what happens with each movie, and yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise that the human villain would get eaten by a dinosaur. Anyways, now back to my positives. So, as I said earlier about Baby Blue, well, not technically Baby Blue, Baby Blue was in Fallen Kingdom, for Blue's baby, which is Beta, which I was technically right. So yeah, Beta is the name for Blue's baby. Are there plushes for free? Because I would like to add her, or is it a him or a she? I don't know. Basically, I would like to add Beta to my Grogu, basically Baby Yoda over there, who's currently on my bed at the moment. I gotta say right out the bat, not only she is freaking fast, like god dang, that little sucker's quick, but she can be adorable yet also terrifying because again, not a big spoiler, but as they were trying to go kill a white bunny in the snow, a wolf takes their food, but she just storms in and just kills a big giant wolf, which, surprise, I thought that, because in that scene, I thought that Beta was going to get hurt in the process, but no. She just took down the big wolf like it was nothing. So, yeah, she may be cute, but she's pretty much as terrifying as her mother, which would be Blue. And yeah, you could say she's going to be as cute of a baby dinosaur as Bumpy, but also the other baby dinosaurs from Season 4, which I sadly cannot remember their names, but once I rewatch Camp Cretaceous and prep for Season 5, I should be able to remember their names. And speaking about Camp Cretaceous, I may see the connection. Now, as I watch Season 4, we've been hearing that it's going to be connected to Dominion. I watched Season 4, I didn't see how. Not that I don't see how it connects, I didn't see how it connects. So I may have to rewatch it or something, or watch the breakdowns, but I think I may see how it connects. And they probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they probably should have said that Dominion connects to Season 5 instead of Season 4, unless Dominion connects to both Season 4 and 5 of Camp Cretaceous. Because there is one scene that is mainly kind of an Easter egg, but there's just one scene in here. Not only it bugged me, which I will explain in my spoiler review, but okay, I saw it in the teaser for Season 5, and I can see how it's connected, because like I said in Jurassic World review, Camp Cretaceous is a prequel to Jurassic World, but also I mean, a little bit of a sequel to Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, but still, it's most likely a prequel. And one last positive thing I should say about this movie. Now, I don't know what was my favorite scene from Jurassic World, but also Fallen Kingdom. I'm gonna have to rethink about that. I bet one of those favorite scenes would have to do with the big bad dinos for the Dinosaurs. I think my favorite scene from there was possibly the final battle. I'm gonna say that for now. I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check. But for Fallen Kingdom, it would probably most likely have to do with the Indoraptor, which would be the final. Basically, my favorite scenes from the last two Jurassic World movies are the final battles. But for this one, I could say it'd be the final battle, which technically it is, but it's mainly when the big bad dino, which is the Gigectosaurus, if I pronounced it correctly, which I definitely know for a fact I didn't, so I'm just going to call it GG. Not GG when you say in gaming, GG, as I explained in my last review, or the first review, actually. I don't know. So, basically, my most favorite scene in the entire movie is when the big bad dino arrives and attacks the gang as they've all, I would say reunited, but technically meet for the first time, and just, yeah, there was one scene that I'm like, oh my god, if he dies, I'm not gonna like this movie, which I will explain. I will say who, I can't say who it is. It's technically, I mean, not that it's a spoiler, because he technically lives, but just, I'll explain who it is in my spoiler review, but still, that was my favorite, that was just my favorite scene for the entire movie. I think it's my most favorite scene than the final battle, which, I'll tell you this, the final battle is dope. And now for the nitpicks I got, which could be my negatives for this movie, and that is the kill count. Hate to say it, I think Dead Meat's possibly going to most likely be disappointed with this movie. Now, I don't know what his thoughts on Fallen Kingdom, as I have not watched his kill count yet, which I will most likely after this video. But, yeah, I think this movie has the shortest kills, possibly. I don't know. I've only counted possibly 4 or 6 kills in this movie, but my mind is going to 4, because I think there was only mainly 4 kills, but I could be wrong there. So, yeah, I look forward to his kill count, but he's most likely going to be disappointed, hate to admit it. And my thoughts on the dino in the mainland. Now, that's certainly what we all were anticipating. Now, I came in with, I honestly didn't know if I had any expectations, so I guess I went in with no expectations. But, actually, I've had this, okay, this shouldn't be a spoiler, but this is just a thought I'm going to mention. I had this thought in my head for about a year, I guess, and that was Alan Grant would be brutally eaten by a T-Rex, or one of the dinosaurs. And that was something I feared. But, just be glad he isn't dead in the movie. And that shouldn't be a spoiler, because honestly, just don't expect some of the characters, I mean, probably do. I don't know. Just basically don't expect any major deaths, because I kind of forgot I had that terrible thought in my head, because going into this movie, I just knew that the trio were just going to survive, and that sounds like a spoiler when I say it, but just trust me, it should not be a big spoiler to you guys. If anything, the big spoiler that I was kind of spoiled, but not entirely, and not entirely, I was spoiled a little bit for this movie, and it has to do with the ending. But I technically saw a thumbnail, and I recognized, I'm like, oh my god, I technically was spoiled, but I didn't realize it, but just still, the big spoiler would be how the big bad dino dies, and I think the way it dies is pretty awesome. Alright, I'm probably going to feel guilty for that, but just still, I had that terrible thought in my head for about a year, but glad to know that was just a theory. So just still, what I'm trying to say, anyways, back to topic. So, we were all wondering, what are they going to do? Are they going to get them back on the island? Is the entire movie just going to be focusing on them trying to get them back on the island? And sadly, that's going to be one of the disappointing parts for Dominion, because, they're not going to do jack about the dinosaurs being on the mainland, and I don't even know if they had the thought of trying to put them on Isla Sorna, if they even know Isla Sorna exists, which they probably do. And we don't even get to see how they're all just doing, what they're doing to their mainland and everything. We're just basically focused on, like, a main story, technically similar to Jurassic Park 3, where it's just a simple story. That's what's happening here, but like I said, it's, like I said earlier, about 2 movies playing into 1 movie. That's just basically what's happening here. Just a simple story, except there are 2, because they're both separate, but they lead into 1 by the end on the final act of the movie. So sadly, that's one of the disappointing things about Dominion. There's nothing they're doing about these dinosaurs being on the mainland. They're just basically the dinosaurs on the mainland are just like COVID-19. We're just dealing like it's now a normal thing, the new normal, sadly. So basically, the dinosaurs in the movie are just like how we're taking COVID-19. How basically everyone in the movie is just basically experiencing what we're experiencing right now, as we're in the new normal, since COVID is still kind of a bit of an issue at the moment. Since my parents got COVID recently, but they're all good right now. And another thing, which isn't a negative, it's just a nitpick. I feel like we barely got any scenes for Blue. I mean, I know we barely got scenes for Blue in the last two, but like, just, I don't know. I feel like she was barely in the movie, and that she was just chilling, just basically chilling back while being ready to possibly kill Alan if he didn't. Not Alan Grant, Owen Grady. I meant to say Owen. Just basically waiting to just kill Owen Grady if he didn't came back with her baby Beta, because not only Owen and Claire are trying to save Macy as she's captured by the big bad company, but also Beta, who was also captured, because they need both of their blood DNA, because let me just say they're both clones. As just I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just gonna say it like this: it's technically similar with how there were two Scorpion Rexes in season 3 reproducing. Also, another negative I have for this movie. They didn't include the prologue that was basically like the first 5 minutes that they showed before they played F9 in theaters. I'm surprised they didn't do that. I figured that we basically were just watching the opening scene that we would be seeing in about a year. And that's not in the movie. I mean, technically the beginning scene is what we wanted to see about the dinosaurs being on the mainland, but that's just it. The opening scene only includes that. The rest, just a simple story, only that there's 2. And as I mentioned about the bugs, now, this is just a nitpick, because honestly I could care less about the bugs. Sure, I would not want them to be in the movie, as what everyone claims to be wanting to have with Dominion, but they are nasty as hell. And I'm just like, who the hell created these things? And my guess, probably Dr. Henry Wu, who is in this movie. By the way, in case, actually no one probably should have forgotten about that because it was shown in the trailers. But yeah, that's pretty much some of my nitpicks and negatives from the movie, but one last positive thing I shall have, and then to my bonus thoughts. The final act is just, okay, so if you like get bored or just feel so disappointed with the movie, I think the final battle, basically the final act of the movie, should save from you. Just basically should save the movie for you. Not that it saved for me, I was honestly enjoying it. Now, yeah, there may have been some boring parts, but honestly, I was enjoying it throughout the entire movie, because it is a thrill ride from start to finish. Mainly because of the dinosaurs, because most of the new dinos in here are pretty terrifying. But I think the third act of the movie should save the movie for you guys, in case if you guys end up being a little disappointed with the result of this movie. Now, some bonus thoughts that I should mention before I end it off here. Now, this, I am going to save more of my thoughts on this with another video that I'll make soon. And it's just an interesting thought I have, maybe a dumb thought, but with how people had been reacting with the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, but also the Jurassic World trilogy. The Jurassic World trilogy is basically like the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. Now, why do I think that? Like I said, that's a video for, I'm saving that for another video, which I've already made a thumbnail for. And here's a teaser for it, which I did my best, mainly because with the titles, but still, this is the best I did. But still, here's a tease of my upcoming video, soon. Not after this one, just in the near future. And now my thoughts with me watching all 3 Jurassic World movies in one day. Here's how it happened. So, I was supposed to watch sorry, that was a hiccup there. I was supposed to watch Jurassic World, before I went to bed, but I ended up falling asleep, and I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, so I turned on my hotspot, and, watched Jurassic World on YouTube, which I had a little bit of problem, but I didn't have no problems with the Wi-Fi connection or anything. I mean, the quality was good and bad at the same time during the majority of it. But yeah, after watching it after finished watching it at at almost 6 a.m. in the morning, I then just tried to get started on making videos and stuff. But just yeah, like I said, I was not able to make my reviews yesterday, mainly because I was editing a video because I wanted to clear out storage. So that's what I did first. I cleared out storage because I edited one of my house tour videos, and you shall see that sometime this week, along with part 2, and then part 3 most likely next week. But once it's Sunday, it'll be next week. But still, after that, I just was waiting for it to process, and then I spent most of my time rebuilding my Indoraptor, like basically my Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Lego set. And then after that, I then just like, screw it, I'm gonna watch Fallen Kingdom, even though I'll have some mixed thoughts. And by mixed thoughts, I mean that my thoughts that I'm saving for Jurassic World is gonna get mixed with my thoughts for Fallen Kingdom, and then I'm just gonna get mixed up on like, oh crap, no wait, what? Dang it. And then I had a friend come over, which actually he kind of just barged into the house. Basically, No, he interrupted, and that would be Shane because he wanted to tell me some important information. Then we just chatted downstairs. It was getting annoying. He could sometimes be a pain in the butt, but still, we're good friends and everything. But after that, I then finally was watching the movie in peace because he kind of interrupted me as I was trying to watch the movie. And then I was able to finish it because we had to leave by 2:50, and I figured, and because as D texted me, we had to get ready by 2:10. I'm like, oh crap, do I have to watch it while on my phone? But no, I was able to finish it on my computer because I watched Jurassic World on the TV as I woke up at 3 a.m. and then Fallen Kingdom on my computer. And then as soon as I finished it, I then get everything ready. Actually, while watching it, I was getting ready in the process while watching Fallen Kingdom, and then after it was done, I then got downstairs and then started recording my vlog. And yeah, the rest is history after that. And one last thought. It's a bit of a disappointing conclusion with how it ended, I guess. I mean, like I said, I think it could have been better. Because like I said, the movie could have been better, but it worked for me somehow. But yeah, Jurassic World Dominion wasn't the best. Hate to say it. I mean, not that I would say it was the best, but I'm trying to be fair, I guess, with everyone or something. But I'm someone that ended up enjoying and loving Jurassic World Dominion. Because, yeah, I mean it when I say it. It was freaking awesome. And for that, it worked for me because I was entertained, and that's all that matters. Alright, gonna have to interrupt the review because I just realized I forgot to do something. So, in case you've not seen my other reviews from mainly last year, so this is my review scale. The design I took on it is inspired by some other review scales I've seen from YouTube channels. I have made a video talking about it. But yeah, it's mainly inspired by 3C Films' review scale, but also the Moist Mirror by, I guess, I cannot pronounce the YouTube channel's name, but still, I've made a video about it, which is somewhere right here, but still, though, so yeah, last time I used one of these was around before I moved out of Vegas, so most likely between, I think most likely Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm not too sure, but, I was not able to, I was hoping to use these for my Spider-Man reviews, but I have not had the chance, because they were in the RV, and I was able to get them out of the RV, and just, yeah, but anyway, so yeah, now to the review scale that I have for Jurassic World Dominion. So for action, I am going to give it 4 stars, 80%. Another thing I did enjoy about Dominion, because I think the most action we're going to have in a Jurassic Park or World movie is definitely going to be Jurassic World Dominion, unless we've already had that with another movie somewhere in the franchise, but Jurassic World Dominion is all I could think of. And for comedy, I'm going to give it 3 stars, 60%. Not that the movie wasn't funny. I think it was funny. There were some funny moments there, especially from Ian Malcolm, which would be Jeff Goldblum's character. I mean, there was one scene that everyone laughed in the theater that I do remember, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a funny movie, which is thanks to Jeff Goldblum's character, Ian Malcolm. And for drama, people have been disappointed with how it came out, but like I said, I'm someone that just barely cares about that, someone that is more entertained and everything. I've mentioned that a little bit in some of my reviews, mainly my review for Jurassic Park 3, but I'll give it 3 stars, 60%. But for horror, 2 stars, definitely 40%, because there are still some death scenes with dinosaurs eating people, especially that one scene that we saw in the second trailer for Jurassic World Dominion, because that still traumatizes me. And suspense, yeah, I think the suspense still worked for me in this movie, so I'm going to give it 4 stars, 80%, because, like I said earlier, there was one scene where I thought a specific character was going to die, and if he did, I would have disliked this movie immediately, but thank God he didn't die, but still, the suspense, I think, worked for me, because there were some suspenseful moments in some specific scenes in the movie. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie, so I'm going to give it 5 stars, 100%. So for casual fans, it's going to be a B-, cinephiles, C, and critically, honestly, A+. And for my rating, it's going to be a 10 out of 10, and for the Moist Reader, is going to be at 88%, but sadly, it may not get the movie reward or add to your collection. I mean, I'm going to add it to my collection, so feel free to add to your collection, but I still suggest you go check this out in theaters, and I think you should see this in D-Bucks, because with me seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife in D-Bucks, I think D-Bucks is the best way to see Dominion, or IMAX, because that's what I saw, and it was still, I still had a blast watching it in IMAX. Anyways, now back to the review. So yeah, that is my spoiler-free thoughts for Jurassic World Dominion, even though I possibly could have dropped some spoilers here, but should not be a surprise. Don't take them as big, huge spoilers. I mean, if you're someone that thought that some of the characters were going to die in here, I'm sorry if I may have spoiled it for you, but speaking about spoilers, tomorrow I should be doing a spoiler review for Jurassic World Dominion. But anyways, on that note, be sure to let me know your thoughts, comments down below if you have seen Jurassic World Dominion. Which is your most favorite Jurassic World movie or Jurassic Park movie? I am going to try and make a ranking tomorrow. But, yeah, as always, I'll see you guys in the next video, which is probably going to be a random video, which will be a normal video, or my spoiler-free review. No, not spoiler review for Dominion. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.